Hello everyone and welcome back. We are once again on top of the ICC building with the beautiful St. Louis arch behind us. We have come a little bit earlier in the day on a little bit cooler of a day. So today we're going to have sort of a mixed practice. We're going to do a little bit of work and a little bit of balance and a lot of stretching and breathing. All you need today is a mat and maybe a towel if you're outside like me. And whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead today and start on the back. We'll bring the knees together to touch and the feet as wide as the mat. We'll let the arms come out a little bit wide and begin to notice the breath here. Steadily inhaling and slowly exhaling. As we inhale, the abdomen rises, the chest expands, and as we exhale, the chest contracts, the belly button melts to the spine. We notice where our thoughts are today. We acknowledge them and let them pass, like clouds on a sunny sky or ships on a river. Coming back to our breath, coming back to the sensation in the body. We'll take just one or two more rounds of breath here. Really focusing on relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the muscles in the neck and the face. And then we'll begin to bring a little bit of gentle movement here to the body. Slowly inhaling the arms overhead, reaching out the shoulders and the fingertips. And we'll send the left leg out long, followed by the right. And we'll reach out tall, and on an exhale, we're going to draw the right knee into the body. We'll squeeze it up towards that right shoulder. We'll take a deep inhale, and on a long exhale, we're going to bring that left knee over towards the right side of the mat. Sending the right fingertips out long, we ground down through the shoulder. You can hook the top of that right foot on the back of the left thigh. Maybe we send the gaze down the right fingertips. Taking a moment here to notice this twist all the way from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Using our inhales to find space, imagining a little bit more space between each vertebrae as we exhale and melt that knee towards the left side of the mat. We'll go ahead and take one more round of breath here. And on an inhale, we'll roll back towards center, hug that right knee back into the chest. And as we exhale, send the right knee down, squeeze that left knee in. We'll take a deep inhale. And on an exhale, scoot that right hip under the left as we send the left fingertips out long and the left knee towards the right side of the mat. Breathing deeply here, imagining all of that space. If your shoulder doesn't stay glued to the mat, find a place where the shoulder and the knee are about equal distance from the mat. And as you take these long, deep breaths here, as we inhale and exhale, imagine the muscles in the lower back softening, and the muscles between the shoulder blades softening. As the shoulder and the knee melt closer, even if it's just in our imagination, down towards the mat. On your next inhale, we'll rock back towards center, give that knee a squeeze. we'll bring that right knee into meet. And if it feels good on an inhale, you can draw head, neck, shoulders, nose to the knees. Exhaling back down. And this time we're going to keep the knees together. We're going to send the left arm out long. And on an exhale, we'll let both of the knees drop over towards the right. Gaze can stay up towards the ceiling or the sky, or maybe you send it down those left fingertips. Maybe you find this twist, this little stretch all the way in the side of the neck, sending the gaze down those fingertips. Or just stay where you are, whatever feels best today. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on your next inhale, we'll draw both knees through center. And exhale, send the right fingertips out long. Let the knees drop over to the other side. The gaze can come down those left fingertips, or maybe stays towards the ceiling or the sky. Taking a few rounds of deep breath here, finding something that feels good in the body. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on an inhale, we'll rock the knees back to center, give them a squeeze. Take a long exhale, inhale the nose up towards the knees. And exhale, release the upper body back down. We'll send the left leg out long. Hug that right knee in, and then we're going to send the sole of the right foot towards the sky. The leg doesn't have to be totally straight here. Maybe keep a bend. Activate through the core here. Really keep that lower back pressed into the mat. The hands can rest to the body here. And on your next inhale, we'll bring that left leg up to meet. Maybe rotate the ankles a little bit here. Wiggle the toes. If you need to, you can bring the hands behind the thighs for some extra support. But stay engaged through the core here, using those abs to keep those legs up high, pressing through the heels as if we're pressing into the ceiling or the sky. We'll take one more round of breath wherever you are. And then we'll have everyone interlace their fingers behind the right thigh as we let the left thigh drop. Inhaling to switch, taking hold of that left thigh, letting the right heel drop. Inhaling back up. And we'll take this a few rounds at the pace of your own breath. Really keeping that lower back planted. Straightening through the legs as much as we can. We'll take just one more on either side. And we'll bring both feet towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, slowly with control, bending at the knees, bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat. We'll take one more round of breath here, inhaling the arms overhead for a big stretch. And then we'll exhale over to our right side, pressing up to a comfortable cross-legged seat. When we get there, we'll take a few rounds of breath, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling completely through the nose. Really stacking the head over heart, heart over pelvis, pulling the shoulders back down and away from the ears. On an inhale, we'll sweep the arms overhead, taking up space, reaching up high, reaching out of the shoulders. And we'll exhale to float the arms down. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up overhead, reaching up out of the hips. And exhaling, floating the arms down. The eyes can stay closed or heavy here if you don't need to look. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up high. And as we exhale, we're gonna plant that right hand, send the left fingertips past the ears. And we're gonna bend into that right elbow, send the gaze underneath the left arm. That left knee is heavy as we find this side body stretch. We inhale through center, plant that left hand, send the right fingertips past the ear. And we exhale, bend into that left elbow, send the gaze under the right arm. Inhaling back through center, we'll interlace the fingers, press forward, up and over, and we'll reach up, sending that energy through the midline all the way towards the ceiling of the sky. We send our gaze towards the fingertips as we break free. We exhale the arms down. We'll go ahead and bring that right hand to the left knee. We're gonna bring that left hand right behind the seat. We'll inhale to sit up tall. And as we exhale, we're gonna send the gaze behind, past that left shoulder, finding a nice twist here. Our knees are heavy. We're relaxed in the face. Taking a few rounds of breath here. Imagining that wringing sensation through the midline, as if you were wringing out a towel. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on our next exhale, we'll come back to center and take that right to the other side. Bring the left hand over to the right knee, the right fingers behind. We sit up tall. And we exhale to melt back over that right shoulder. Taking a few long, deep breaths here. Imagining the space between each vertebrae. Imagining the muscles in the back slowly melting, the tension slowly draining away. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on your next exhale, we'll come back towards center. And when we get here, we're going to draw that right arm across the body. We're going to bring the left hand right under. You might recognize this easy stretch from a gym class or maybe some other stretching or workout video. We're just finding a nice, easy stretch here in that upper bicep and the shoulder. We're still sitting up tall. And taking one more round of breath here. We're going to send that left arm out long, send that right arm out long, taking up space. And we're gonna exhale like we're giving ourselves a giant hug, reaching for the space in between the shoulder blades. Inhaling the arms out wide, we're gonna exhale the left arm across, bringing the right hand underneath, finding this same stretch over in the other side. Breathing deeply. Melting through the muscles of the shoulders, releasing that tension. We'll inhale the arms out long, exhale in for that hug, put the opposite arm on top this time. Take a deep inhale, feel the skin of the back stretch as the rib cage expands. And exhale. We'll release and make our way to all fours. When you get there, stack the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. And find a long, line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. Taking a round of breath here. And then we'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow. As we inhale, the belly drops, the tailbone lifts, the crown of the head lifts. As we exhale, we round through the upper back body, the tailbone drops, the crown of the head drops. Inhaling, the belly drops, the crown of the head lifts, and the tailbone lifts. And exhaling to round through the upper body. And maybe you take some other movement here, like perhaps you turn around because you realize that your side ponytail is getting in the way of your face in the camera. Or maybe you send the gaze over the left and the hips to the right. Send the gaze over the right and the hips to the left. Maybe we come all the way back toward the child's pose. And maybe on an inhale, we stretch a little bit on those wrists. Just finding a little bit of movement here, flexing in the spine. And we'll take one more round of breath wherever you are. And then we'll go ahead and just slide right out onto the belly. We'll bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and the hands and the forearms parallel to Sphinx pose. Sending that gaze just right in front of the hands, finding a little bit of length in the neck, a lift in the chest. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on an exhale, we'll release the chin down, the forehead down. We'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting for cobra, inhaling, pressing back to all fours. We're going to keep the knees slightly bent as we tuck the toes and send it up to a sort of a crouched downward dog here. And we'll really focus on pressing into all 10 of your fingers and the palms, pressing out of the shoulders and finding a long spine. When you're ready, you can begin to pedal out the feet, finding a little movement here. Stretching in the calves and the toes and the muscles that we don't often pay attention to. All the while, keep that awareness of that long spine. The gaze can be back towards the feet, towards the knees. Maybe you shake the head out a little bit here. We'll go ahead and take one more round of breath. And on your next inhale, we're going to send that right leg up high. We're going to exhale to step it through. Drop that back knee, top of the foot to the floor. We're going to find our foundation here, making sure that knee is stacked over that ankle. Finding a lift in the chest, that left hip is heavy, top of the foot to the mat. We'll take a couple rounds of breath here, really feeling that stretch in the left front hip crease. And we'll take one more round of breath. And on an inhale, we'll sweep the arms up overhead. And on an exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back to fly. Inhaling to sweep up. Exhaling to hover that belly. Keeping active through the core here. Inhaling to come up. Exhaling to frame that foot. We're going to rock back on our heel, pulling that right hip back, the left knee forward. Finding length through the spine here and a nice stretch in that left hamstring. I promise I won't forget to do it on the other side this time. We'll take one more round of breath here, keeping those toes flexed towards the face. We'll exhale, rocking back forward, planting the hands, tucking the toes, We lift the knee, send the right toes back to meet the left, and we'll come back into that downward dog. Pedal out the feet, press out through the hands. And then we'll come to stillness, and on an inhale, we'll send that left foot up high. On an exhale, we'll step it through, drop the right knee down, top of the foot to the floor, stack that left knee over left ankle, find that lift here. The right hip is heavy. We find that same stretch on this side, noticing if this side might be a little tighter, or maybe you have a little more space. We'll take one more round of breath here, and on an inhale, we'll sweep the arms up. Keeping active through that core, we're gonna exhale, sweep the arms back. Inhaling to come up. Exhaling to sweep the arms back. Inhaling, last time here. Exhaling to sweep. Inhaling the arms up high. And exhaling, the hands frame the foot. And we rock back on that left heel. Pulling the left heel back, the right knee forward. Taking a few deep breaths here. Noticing how this stretch feels on the other side. Keeping those toes dialed back. We'll take one more round of breath. And on an exhale, we'll rock forward onto the left foot. We'll plant the hands, tuck the toe, lift the knee, send the left toes to meet the right. And you can go straight to downward dog here, or you can tuck the elbows in tight. Come down to the belly. Tops of the feet to the floor. We inhale for cobra. Exhaling, pushing through all fours and back to downward dog. Go ahead and pedal out the feet. And we'll take one more round of breath and stillness. And on an inhale, we'll lift the right leg up high. On an exhale, we'll step it through. We're gonna keep that back knee lifted, or you can drop it if you need to. We're gonna hover here, that right knee stacked over left ankle, find our foundation, and you can turn the back foot as we inhale up for warrior one. Keeping your hips pointed towards the front as much as you can, lifting those arms, lifting that chest, really grounding down through the knife edge of that back foot and through all four corners of the front foot. Taking a couple rounds of breath here. And then on an exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back. We hover over that thigh. Inhaling to come up. Exhaling, keeping active through that core. We hover. Inhaling to come up. Last time here, we exhale, sweep back. We inhale to come up through center. Exhaling, we're going to open up to warrior two. We'll take a round of breath here, making sure that knee is stacked over the ankle, making sure that we're really reaching out past our fingertips here. And then we're going to bring that left hand behind. Bring that right arm over. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that right forearm to the thigh. Send those left fingertips up and over, reaching out, finding a long line here. And then we'll inhale, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel it all the way back down, spinning on that back foot. We plant the hands, send the right toes back. You can go straight to downward dog or tuck the elbows. Come down to the belly. Inhale for cobra. Exhale to release. Press it back to downward dog. Pedal out the feet if you need to. Take a breath in stillness. And on an inhale, we'll send that left leg up high. Exhaling to step it through, we'll drop the back knee if you need to, or this time we keep it lifted. Finding our foundation here. Really reaching that right heel back, left heel over left ankle, grounding down through all four corners of that front foot. We're going to turn on our back foot, inhaling to come up, really digging in through the knife edge of that back foot. We take a couple rounds of deep breath, and then when you're ready, on an exhale, the arms come back, we fly. Inhaling through center, keeping that core active. We exhale, belly hovers. Inhaling through center. Last time here, we exhale, belly hovers. Inhaling, back up. And we exhale, opening to warrior two. Keeping that foundation here, keeping those shoulders pulled back. Taking a deep breath here, we bring that right arm behind. We inhale, the left fingertips up and over, side stretch. Exhaling, we bring that left forearm down, send those right fingertips forward. We inhale, back through a warrior two. And we exhale to cartwheel it all the way down, turn on that back foot, and this time we're gonna step the right toes up to meet the left. We're gonna meet here in forward fold. Let the head, neck, and shoulders be heavy. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Maybe we walk the fingertips over towards the left, back through center and towards the right. Moving slowly. Maybe we take hold of opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. Or maybe we hug the back of the thighs, gently straightening out the legs here. This is if you have a little more space. And finding a little more of a stretch here, straightening in the legs, bending the elbows from side to side. Exhaling, release wherever you are, and slowly sending the hips back. Tracing the fingertips past the shins, past the knees. We roll up one vertebrae at a time, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhaling them down. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale them back down. Last time, taking up space here, inhaling, sweeping the arms up, sending the gaze up towards the fingers. We exhale all the way back down. So we're gonna take what is probably our first balancing pose of my video series, and it's going to be tree. So we're gonna start by taking a little notice of our feet. We're gonna go ahead and come onto the tippy toes and come onto the heels. Move on to the outsides of the feet and the insides of the feet. And maybe flip the feet over for a little stretch on the top of the ankle. Some movement here that feels good. Maybe you roll out the ankle. And then we'll come to stillness here. We'll find our foundation. Feet about hips width apart, stacking head over heart, heart over pelvis, making sure those shoulders are pulled back, down and away from the ears. And the hands can come to the hips here, or we can find any other variation that works, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. So to start, you can find a little baby kickstand here. The toes still on the ground, the heel on the ankle. Or maybe you move the foot up right below the knee, not on the knee. We don't want to cause any injuries. And from here, maybe the arms come out long. Maybe they come up overhead. Maybe they meet in the center. Maybe they come to the heart. And maybe you're a little more advanced and you want to take that foot and help it up right into that inner thigh, where we'll press the thigh into the foot into the thigh, pull that knee towards the back of whatever space you're in, and the hands can come to the hips. We can have airplane arms if we need, or maybe we come all the way up to full tree. Wherever you are, grounding down through all corners of the feet, finding a non-moving point of focus, finding that upward current of energy. If you fall, no worries, just find your pose again. Everything takes a little bit of practice. And we'll take just 1 or 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. And then we'll bring the hands back to the hips. We'll gently release that left foot, send it out as long as we can in front, and slowly with control bring it all the way down to the mat. We'll go ahead and let that go, roll out the ankles, and we're going to find that same thing on the other side. So bring the hands to the hips. We'll stand up tall, pull the shoulders back, and whichever side you weren't on last time, bring that heel to the ankle. For me, it's the right. Or maybe up to our shin. Or maybe we bring the heel all the way up. Whoop. Maybe we help the heel all the way into our inner thigh, pressing the foot to the thigh to the foot, pulling that knee back, finding your point of focus, and finding a smile because you're a rock star. And we'll find those airplane arms, or maybe full tree. Wherever you are, knowing that it's good enough. We'll take 1 more round of breath, maybe 2, wherever you are. And we'll slowly return those hands to the hips. We'll send that foot out as long as we can and exhale it all the way back down. We'll go ahead and roll out the ankles. Maybe come on the tiptoes, stretch that out, shake that off. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhaling, we float all the way down, plant the hands, step the feet back, bring the hands under the shoulders, tuck the elbows in as we come down to the belly. Top feet to the mat, we inhale for cobra. Exhale to release. And we're going to bring the left forearm in front. And you can bring the forehead to rest here as we bend the right knee. And we send the right fingertips back to take hold of the top of the foot or the ankle or wherever is comfortable here. Maybe we lift the knee to find a little bit deeper stretch here in that quad. And just take a moment to really relax. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. If it feels good, maybe you bring the left cheek to the forearm. On an exhale, we'll release that right foot back. We'll bring the right forearm across. We'll bring that forehead or the right cheek to the forearm. We'll bend through that left knee, take hold at the top of the foot or the ankle. Breathing deeply here. Lifting that knee if it feels good, finding a little deeper stretch in the quad. We'll take a couple more rounds of breath here. And on an exhale, we'll release that left foot down. We'll bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. We'll cross at the ankles. And we'll send the left foot out long. Bring that right heel in. Maybe move some flesh from the seat here if you need, finding a more stable, grounded position. That right knee is heavy. We inhale, sweep the arms up. And as we exhale, we turn towards that left knee and we hinge at the hips, melting our chest down towards the thigh. And maybe you only come here today. Maybe you're here today. And maybe you're far more flexible than I am and you're somewhere out here today. But find a place where it doesn't hurt, but you have a nice stretch. Flex those toes back towards the nose. And breathe deeply, feeling the stretch in the hamstring, maybe in the lower back. And we'll take one more round of breath here. And on an inhale, we'll sweep it up through center. On an exhale, as we switch our feet, right foot out, left foot in, we turn towards that right foot. We exhale to melt over, remembering we can be here, or we can be somewhere further than I am if you're more flexible than I am. Really letting the weight melt towards the thigh, the nose melts towards the knee. And we'll take one more breath here. And on an inhale, we slowly roll it up. We send both feet towards the bottom of the mat. We can bend the knees, walking the feet back towards the seat, and slowly making our way down. When you get there, we'll let the feet come together, the knees fall out wide, like a book or a butterfly. The hands can rest to the body, maybe to the insides of the thighs, as we imagine that those knees sink lower down towards the mat, finding more space in the hips, more relaxation in the lower back. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on an inhale, we'll slowly help those knees close. We'll walk the knees about hips width apart. Bring the hands out long. And on an exhale, we'll let the knees fall over to the right side of the mat. We'll inhale back through center. And exhale them over to the left. Inhaling through center. Exhaling over. Taking this just a few more times at the pace of your own breath. Massaging out the upper buttocks, lower back against the mat, feeling as we gently move in the hips. We'll take one more round of breath here. And then we'll bring the knees back towards center. We'll walk the heels back towards the seat as close as we can, maybe even fingertips to touch. And we'll ground down through the shoulders, ground down through all four corners of the feet. Keep those knees from falling out or hugging too much in here. As we inhale, peeling the hips up off the mat, pressing them towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rolling back down, one vertebra at a time. Inhaling, scooping that tailbone up off the mat, peeling that spine up off the mat. Exhaling all the way back down. And take this 1 or 2 more times at the pace of your own breath, or maybe go ahead here and interlace the fingers at the top. But when you get to the top, interlace the fingers behind the seat, pressing the hips up even higher. Taking a round or 2 of breath here. And wherever you are, take 1 more round of breath, and on an exhale, let those hips sink down. Let those legs come out long. Let the arms come out to the sides. And take a few slow, quiet breaths here to end our practice. And while we're here, you can listen to the sound of my voice, or perhaps you listen to the sound of your own breath, letting my voice fade off into the distance. We'll take just a couple more rounds of breath together. Inhaling, the belly rises, the chest rises. Exhaling, the chest contracts, the belly button melts to the spine. Inhaling, filling completely. And exhaling, melting deeper onto your mat. So wherever you are today, wherever you are in life, in your yoga practice, perhaps wherever you are in your day today, know that it's okay to move slow sometimes. That even though you may not be as skilled as others, as flexible as others, maybe you don't make as much money as others, it's important that we remember the things that are important to us, to remember the things that we are good at, to remember the skills that we do have, and the areas in which we do have flexibility. Every day is a learning experience. Every day we have the opportunity to become something just a little bit better, even if it's something no one else but you sees, even if it's something that you don't even see. Through taking these deep breaths and taking this time for yourself, taking this time to learn and to experience new things and increase your flexibility in your body and in your mind, these kinds of things are important to keep us going in all the other areas of our life, and helps us to gain more strength and more flexibility in our relationships, in our responsibility, in our moods. Learning how to take these deep breaths and take control of our thoughts and our movements is so important for figuring out how to really live your happiest life, how to find out who you really are, and how to help you help the people around you. So whenever you think that you could be better or you don't know enough, remember that there's somebody that looks at you and something that you do and thinks that they're not that good and that they'll never be as talented as you are in that particular area. So we all have our skills, we all have our strong points, but what really makes everything so wonderful is that they're all different. They're all unique. And they're all you. So wherever you are today, in this moment, take one more round of breath and begin to bring yourself and your awareness back into this space, wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes, rolling out the wrists and rolling out the ankles, and finally reaching the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Pointing the toes towards me, flexing the toes towards you if you're still laying down. Exhaling the arms down to your sides. And we'll go ahead and make our way to a comfortable cross-legged seat, sitting up tall, stacking head over heart, heart over pelvis. On an inhale, we'll sweep both arms up overhead, thinking of something we're grateful for. And the hands meet. Exhaling, our hands down to the sides. We'll take one more round of breath together, inhaling, sweeping the arms up, the hands meet, and we bring them down to heart center. We thank ourselves for carving out this time to take care of our body and to take care of our mind. We thank each other wherever we are for sharing this practice, for being here to support this community.